If you've got a smart TV, you need to know this. It's very important. If you've got a smart TV, you should not turn on the smart features on your television unless you're sure of what processor the television uses. Don't worry, I'm going to explain. Stay tuned till the end. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Jeffrey. Of course, this is the Inquisitive Universe, and today I want to talk about smart TVs and why it is advisable in some cases to not turn on smart features. Right now, when I bought my TCL C655, for a long time I held off on activating the television and turning off any smart features because I did not know what processor was on the TV, and I needed to ascertain that first before turning on smart features. And I think this is very important. If you have a smart TV, you must know this, especially those of us who are buying affordable smart TVs. This is very key. Now, why do I say so? Our televisions today have become modern, they've become smart. In fact, they've become big smartphones. Allow me to use that term, like a really massive smartphone. That's what our televisions have become. Our televisions now run on software that are powered by processors, right? They've got Bluetooth, they've got Wi-Fi, they've got internet. They now run apps. They now need software updates. Our TVs have become smartphones. So, hey, it is what it is. That's the world that we now live in. In my time, a television could not be able, for you to even connect a TV to some other devices, could be a hassle sometimes. You have to go through multiple, here and there, back and forth in order to get a TV to connect to some device that was made in 1998 or somewhat, whatever. But these days, everything is interconnected. All you need to do is smart TV, your phone has Wi-Fi, boom, you've connected both of them together and whatnot. So a lot of these features on televisions these days are powered by processors, right? Just the way smartphones are powered by processors. And it's the same architecture, the same ARM SoCs that usually power these things. So you've got CPU, you've got GPU, you've got Wi-Fi router, you've got Bluetooth radios and whatnot, CPU, GPU and whatnot. So for your TV to run fine, like everybody knows with smartphones, for your smartphone to run fine, you need a decent processor. For your TV to run fine as well, you need a decent processor as well. However, when it comes to TVs, since TVs are not really expected to do the heavy lifting stuff the way smartphones are expected to, low-end processors are usually used to run TVs. For example, on my TCL C655, it's got quad-core ARM Cortex-A53 or A55. It's not actually that clear which ones, which CPU cores are on it. And then a low-end Mali G310 GPU, that's what you find on it. So these specs, from a smartphone perspective, me being a smartphone guy, I looked at these specs and I'm like, Jesus Christ, these are really, really low end. No, I'm not going to do it. So I spoke with somebody and they were like, no, this is actually okay for a TV. I was like, are you sure? They're like, yes, it's okay. You can actually turn on smart features. And then I did. And then I think after the TV needed to be updated. I got some apps in, Showmax, YouTube, Netflix and whatnot, right? And I noticed that the TV became noticeably slower when I turn it on. But as soon as the software loads up, it goes back to normal. And I was like, And technically my television is what you'd actually consider lower mid-range. So imagine people who are buying entry-level smart TVs with even weaker dual-core or single-core A53 or A55 processors with even weaker GPUs. So for the most part, when you buy your TV, for the most part, and there's really not a lot of software running on it, the TV is going to run fine. But after your first or second update, you would notice that the heavier the software becomes, the less capable your processor would be in running it. And that's where you now see a lot of the problems that people encounter with smart TVs. This is where they tend to jump up at you. The TV, when you turn it on, it will take forever to boot up. Switching between, from AV1, HDMI 1 to HDMI 2 to HDMI 3 becomes a hassle. Using the smart TV, apps start acting funny, they become buggy and whatnot. And then it even gets worse when the manufacturer decides that after a year or two, they're not going to support the TV anymore because they want you to upgrade to a better TV. Some TV manufacturers allegedly even send updates to cripple your TV just so that they can get you to buy a new one. It happens. It does. Planned obsolescence is a thing. So if you're buying a television and you think that, oh, the processor on this thing, you need to check. The processor on this thing is not that powerful. Then for your own sake, there are other features that you can use. You don't even necessarily need to use the smart features. There's Bluetooth, there's Wi-Fi, and there's whatnot. You can use those instead. And instead of letting them cripple your TV. Because I've seen people who are complaining. I think I advised the guy that, you know what if you just, format the TV? Yeah, just format it, let it go back to factory settings. And he did, and boom, his TV was back to normal. And I was like, just hold off on using smart features for now. I was like, wow, thank you, Jeff. And I'm like, honestly, I didn't know. I just thought that maybe, with phones, if a phone starts acting up, what we usually do is that we factory reset it, format it, and then it goes back to normal. So maybe you do the same thing for your TV, since smartphones are now, televisions are now big smartphones now. And he did the exact same thing. And it just worked. So if you're buying a smart TV, especially if it's under the sub 300 category, right, or under the sub 400 category downwards, take note that these televisions are not going to be as powerful as the ones that are over $500. So you need to put these things in mind as you're using it. I'm not saying you shouldn't use your smart features. Of course you can, but take note that these things happen. They're possible, because I've seen people complain. I think there's a TCL S series, S30 something, S32 somewhat. I'll check and then I'll get back. I'll put it on the screen, where the guy was complaining that after a year, TV is unusable, TV is this, TV is that. There's a lot of bad reviews, and I'm like, bro, guys, you people bought a television for under 300 USD. Seriously, come on. And the guy was like, no, they should have. I'm like, yeah, fair point. So that's why I'm making this video. So I did hold off on turning on smart features on my TV until I was sure that the processor was capable of handling it for a bit. And if I run into any issues, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to format the television straight up, right? So that will go back to factory settings. That's it. But in any case, if you've had any experience with this, please I'd like to know what you think. If you've not, well, you've learned something new. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Small actions like yours, that helps more channels like this grow. My name is Jeffrey, and of course I'll see you next video. Bye bye.